What's happening, Sales Ascender? Sean here, back at you with another high-ticket tune-up. In this video, I'm going to talk to you about why assuming all prospects lie is a good thing. What's happening, Sales Ascender? Sean here, back at you with another high-ticket tune-up. I hope you're having a great week. It is Wednesday, it's hump day, and I hope you're having something delicious to sip on this morning. But let's just jump right into it. We got a great question that came in today from Bob G. Bob asks this. He says, Sean, you mentioned that the prospect system is lie, steal, lie, hide. How can assuming that all prospects lie support a productive relationship? Bob, thank you for this question. This one will be so valuable. Now, for those of you that don't remember prospect system, right? We always talk about, as we're getting into high ticket sales, have a selling system. And it don't matter which one it is, but use one that you actually seeked out and found and use every single time. If you don't do this, you'll automatically default to what we call the prospects system, the prospects buying system, right? So you can have a selling system or you can default to a prospects buying system. And so the prospects buying system is lie, steal, lie, hide. The example that I used to talk about, or I always talk about, is going to buy a big screen TV. So very quickly, I'll give you just a quick relapse of that, and then we'll dive into this one because I think it's important. So let's say you and your spouse are going to buy a big screen TV. You're like, okay, great. You go online, you do a bunch of research, and you're like, okay, I need to buy a big screen TV. You and your spouse agree, this is the right thing. And you end up going over to the Best Buy, and you walk into the store, you go to the TV section, you and your spouse, and you agree before you get there to split up. So right when you get there, you and your spouse are standing there, and the sales guy walks over and says, hey, is there anything I can help you with today? Your response is the lie. No, thanks, I'm just looking, right? That's what we would typically say, even though we both know you and your spouse didn't go to Best Buy to just look around. Most people don't do that. And so the salesperson says, okay, great, let me know if you need any questions or need any help. And then your spouse splits off. And then you turn and you say back to the sales pro, yeah, hey, actually, can you help me with some TVs? So the sales pro saw your spouse leave, brings you over the TVs and starts talking about TVs. And you say, I'm interested in this one. All of a sudden, the salesperson spills out everything there is to know about this one television. Will it connect with your stuff? How does it work? Where are the buttons to click? And then you're like, great, this has been so helpful. Thank you so much. So now you've just stolen. So lie. First you lied saying, no, I'm good. And then you say, hey, can you show me the TVs? And you steal all the information from the sales professional. And then the sales guy, after he shares everything, he says, hey, how does it sound? And you say to yourself, well, this sounds wonderful, but I actually got to go get my spouse to make a decision like this. This is why you split up. And then now your spouse is on the other side of the store. Knowing this was the plan all along, you run off and go meet with your spouse, and you meet up with them and you say, hey, listen, the sales guy just confirmed everything that I thought was true. This is the exact model we need. We're not going to buy it from here. We're going to bounce. Let's get out of the store. So you and your spouse, you run out of the store, get in your car, and you drive home, go buy the television from Amazon. Meanwhile, the sales guy's like, where did they go? And he's walking around the sales store and he couldn't find you anymore. And you've now hidden. So lie, steal, lie, hide. It is the prospects buying default system. And so if you don't have a sales system, then this means you're going to be defaulted onto this. This is why so many sales people get stuck in voicemail jail, or they get ghosted, or all of these things happen because they're not using a selling system that they've owned and created or found from somebody else or learned, right? So we have a 7-point system that we teach, but irregardless, that's not the point. The point was Bob says, hey, you mentioned that the prospect system is lie, steal, lie, hide, which I just explained to you. And then Bob says, how can assuming that all prospects lie support a productive relationship? Well, this is a great question, because when you're in the conversation and they say something to you, maybe they say something like, yeah, I make all the decisions. Well, let's go back to that television conversation for just a second. What if you said to the sales professional, hey, yeah, no, I'm okay. Maybe the sales guy says, hey, are you the one who can make all the decisions? And then you say, yes, I can make all the decisions. Knowing this is totally not the truth, the salesperson could accept that, or they could assume that you're lying to them, and they could just question a little bit further. Meaning, if I'm in that conversation and I'm actually the sales professional trying to sell the television, I'm going to say something like, okay, so I know you and your spouse came into the store together, and you're telling me right now that if everything matches exactly right, that you're the one who could actually sign on the dotted line right now today in front of us without getting approval from him or her. And then when they say, oh, actually, I need to get in touch with them. Guess what? Now I'm not going to go into the whole diatribe about what the television has to offer, because I'm going to be like, well, look, if you guys have to both make a decision together, why don't we go grab them, bring them back, and let's talk about a television, right? That's a very easy way to bring that up. And here's what the productivity in this relationship is really going to fall upon you as the sales professional, right? You don't want to go out and do a bunch of work that's not necessary for you to do. So by asking a few better questions up front, again, lie, steal, lie, hide. If you see the spouse, again, just a television example, if you see spouse split off and then you question that, and the one says, I can make all the decisions, even though you know they're both already in the store, it's in your best interest as a sales professional to say, hey, listen, why don't we go grab your spouse, bring them back, and let's have this conversation so that I have to repeat myself and you don't have to try to relay the information, because I might be a little bit more technically in the know about the televisions than you are. Maybe not. But wouldn't that make a little bit more sense? And now they'll say, oh yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Okay, let's go grab them. And then you go and grab the spouse, bring them back, and talk TV, versus spewing out everything there is to know to the one person in the relationship, knowing that you're thinking in that conversation, oh my gosh, they're probably gonna have to go tell their spouse. Well, if you just asked up front, you don't have to do any of that work until you get to the place. This is one way to make this, the system, like I said, Bob, is that's how you support it as a productive relationship. And so really what it comes down to is just think back to, for you today. And as we end here, I think what's really important is think back to a couple of conversations that you've recently had. When somebody has said to you, I can make all the decisions, or maybe like money's no object, or something where they've said something which is almost like a smoke screen for your product or service. And then think about what you could do differently. So think about if that question comes up, like something like, hey, money's no object. If somebody says money is no object, I will always challenge that, because I believe that money can be an object sometime, someplace, some way, somehow, especially if the dollar amount gets a little bit larger. So if somebody says no, money's no object, so you could spend 3x what my price would be. So if my price is a $25,000 mastermind, then I would say something like, oh, so you would have no problem dropping $50,000 or $75,000 to get started and really cream your business, and then act confused when they say, oh no, I couldn't spend that. Well, I thought you said money was no object. Oh, well, it actually is. Okay, see, now you've smoked out that objection, and you can have a very much stronger and true conversation, and you've cut the fluff. You've not gone out and done any free consulting, and you've protected your time. We have to protect our time as sales professionals. And if you're not doing that, man, do it. Please start today, right now. Don't quit. And so that's why I say, don't revert to the prospect's default system, which is lie, steal, lie, hide. They will lie to you. They will steal from you. They will lie again to you, and then they will run away and hide. And then that's when you get stuck. So if you have a system where you can understand what they're saying doesn't make sense, if your gut's saying something to you, call it out. Because if you call it out, I promise it will be valuable for you. Also, we got a couple of people showing up today. So, hey, good there. Good to see you there. This one says, hey, Sean, talk to you soon later today. Curious about the software used for this live. What is it? This is called StreamYard. Just go to StreamYard.com. StreamYard.com, and you can set it up. It's one of the best softwares to use for broadcasting like this. You can simultaneously broadcast to a bunch of different places. I love this software. It's a great software. I've been using it for a couple of years now and just really, really like it. It's easy to use. So, and with that said, guys, you've just been tuned up. Just remember, there's a sales ascender inside of each and every one of you, and it doesn't take much to tweak and tune and really, really tune up your sales game so that you can win at such a big level. Don't forget to smash that like button, hit subscribe to the channel, and tell your friends about this. Please share. Can't wait to see you next time. We'll talk later.